free parties if they want. I mean, where's this release of pressure, you know? I mean, the more they tighten on people, the more they're going to feed into these jobs that they're in, or the lives that they're in, where they can't break out and have a bit of freedom from, you know. And, you know, there's only so much you can ask from human beings, you know, at the end of the day, before they're going to flip, you know.
Can you talk to us again about, like, what's it, you've got a circus tent and, like, a mobile sound system?
Yeah, part of the mission, yeah.
Pagan,
yeah.
techno prankster, sort of a...
Yeah, part of the mission we've been on is really to get the music at the parties to a state where it reflects, you know, the actual party itself. One of the things we've been working on is a mobile studio which we put in an old circus trailer, and it's now on the road with the sound system that we've got out there in the convoy vehicles, and the idea being that as we travel from venue to venue, we collect the sounds from the environment around us, and then when it comes to the party, we take the journey and we synthesise it into the music for the party, and that can be taken to other levels. And one of the things that we're keen on at the moment is exploring sound and the possibilities of sound, and maybe even having parties whereby you record sounds from around the party and you process them into the techno, so you have that balance going on again between the organic sort of sounds of the environment and the techno, the sort of state-of-the-art cutting-edge technology that is there, which has now allowed, say, the travelling musician to play his music louder than he's ever been able to do it before. You know.
Talking about what technology are you using at the moment?
The key ones that seem to be getting favoured at the moment, mainly because of their flexibility, the JD800, the Bassline 303, Akai samplers, say the Ensoniq EPS 16 Plus, things like the Mackie mixing desk, which is nice and compact for carrying about. But it's really all these things are starting to be looked upon in different ways by the musicians. Gone are the days now where you'll be able to get these live PAs which stand with a DAT tape and they mime on top of their keyboard and maybe play the odd note here and there. What's happening is the artists are now looking at their instruments and seeing how they can make them more flexible, and it seems that a lot of different people, Aphex Twins are a very good example, Drum Club, Orbital, what we're up to, even Youth, people like that, are all pushing towards this kind of improvised techno, you know, where you go on and you don't know what you're going to play, but you just start to create the sound as you go along. And that is sort of taking it to the level where you're getting parallels between, say, tribal African rituals or just celebrations where you have the master drummer who is communicating with the dancer in the moment because he's improvising, you know, and so is the dancer. And it's that communication that I think is one of the strong ties within the rave scene, and it's something that everyone feels, but as these things develop, people are going to feel it a lot more stronger, you know, and that could be really interesting.
Yeah, well, people like yourself are like sort of musical shamans, technological shamans, just in getting people into dancing and the trance.
Yeah, it's definitely a birthright, you know, it's what a lot of people seem to have forgotten, you know, because they have just accepted this thing that they're born and they go through school and they come out and they either wind up in college and think they're sorted and get a slightly better job than someone else, but at the end of the day everyone winds up getting pissed off because they've got a mortgage or taxes to pay or bills or whatever. You know, I mean, really, where is the kind of spiritual side of that, you know, for want of a better term? People need to connect back with that. It's in their nature, you know, they've done it for centuries. And it's very interesting the way that the government have taken away a lot of the common land, which is something we found from travelling around Britain, is that where's the common land gone? In Leeds, you know, out of all the common land left in Leeds, there's only 2 places, and one of those has now been taken over by a farmer, and the other one is right next door to an airport and isn't very nice to sort of hang around. you know. So what's happened to all this land, you know?
It's all safe ways on
So, are you using like live digital sound? You're not using decks?
We're very keen to fuse it. I mean, Jeff is sort of one of the only DJs I know of at the moment who's trying to fuse in with the live techno setups, and it's a matter of balancing what you've got on vinyl. There's certain ways that can be taken further through putting the decks through analogues and stuff and warping the sounds and stuff. But really what you've got is suddenly over the past 10 years the amount of technology that's available to people, and you don't always have to go out and get, say, an Akai sampler. I mean, you can get a very cheap studio setup. I mean, the bassline is only a couple of £100 if you can find them, you know. And anyone can start making techno. And it seems to be the trend at the moment that's going on, is this thing whereby the big parties have been caned, but it's not stopping the people getting their 1K rigs out with their mates and their little bassline 303 or whatever, and having a night out in the country, partying away, you know, doing what is their natural birthright after all.
People have been doing it for millions of years,
Yeah.
since the beginning of time. It's no different.
Anybody else got any questions? Was there anything you want to talk about?
Just one thing, with this festival here I showed you earlier, is happening in France next Saturday. It's been promoted all over Europe. By the time you actually see the video, whoever's watching it, it'll be gone, but people are coming from all over Europe to go to this. It's been promoted at Love Parades, Scotland, England, Belgium, Holland, everywhere. It should be massive.
Do you know
There it is
anything
again.
that's going to be coming up, what's coming in Britain? I mean, so
It's all gone very much underground. There's a lot going on, but it has to be done word of mouth, really, you know. I mean, it's like, as soon as you use phone lines nowadays, they're tapped and they're cut off, you know. So, I mean, that's what you're up against. But at the same time, there's an awful lot of parties going on, which is the beautiful thing about it, is that it doesn't seem to matter whether or not they stamp out the big parties. It just means that the big parties been scattered all over Britain now, you know.
what do you reckon to the commercial race in 20?
Well, people go and that is fair enough.
That's about you can do.
What I resent about it is that if people go and pay 25, fair enough, no problem. But if you don't want to pay 25 or can't afford to pay 25 quid, suddenly you can't go out and party, or they make it very difficult to go out and party. And that doesn't seem very fair, because after all, everyone puts in the same amount of work, don't they?
Yeah, you guys are known for like free parties. So what do you thought of that?
Of the free party?
Yeah.
We feel it's our natural birthright to be able to go out into the country and dance under the stars, you know, and that was our motivating force behind it, and we're not going to give up on it because it's our birthright, you know, and you can't stop people from doing it, because otherwise, you know, you're turning people into machines, you know.
Thanks a lot.
No problem.